Alright, we are back for round 1. Won the die roll I'd like to play first. Unfortunately, this one lander is not gonna be enough. That hand is decent though. I have two very decent 3-drop as well as a heal giant. That seems pretty good. Probably don't want that, especially since I don't have any sorcery. If I had a volcanic hammer in hand, I could consider it. I could consider keeping it, but here it doesn't look too appealing. Oh, we are playing another black deck, it seems. Black white, alright. Master Decoy is incredibly good. I drew Pyroclasm though, which is awesome. I'm gonna cast Serpent Warrior first because of the Pyroclasm. Because, you know, I might want to cast that next turn or the turn after that, and, you know, try to kill a bunch of creatures from my opponent, which would be awesome. I guess we'll see how it goes, but I think I'll get value out of that. I should, at least. I could. Alright, do you have... well... I think I'm just gonna discard a mountain, whatever. I will not be able to cast my heal giant soon, but I should be able to do so at some point anyway. And I'm just gonna Pyroclasm there. My opponent's gonna tap my warrior, but you know, it's kinda whatever. I guess it's not gonna be a real 2-for-1 because my opponent got a card out of the out of the rat, but it's fine, you know. Getting rid of the Master of Decoy is really good. I mean, that card is incredibly hard to beat. I'm a bit yeah. I am 2 cards behind because of the rat and my mulligan. I mean, mostly because of, actually this is even, but because of the mulligan and the fact that I was on the play, so it's not great, but there's nothing I can do, honestly. It is what it is. Crossbow infantry is not an issue at all, though. The good news now is that I can pretty much do things with what I do have, and if I draw land, I do also have costier spells to cast, so I think I'm in a decent shape. As long as the opponent doesn't play something too threatening, I should be fine. Alright, the robber is mildly annoying, I would say. If I draw land, I'm attacking, otherwise I might not attack. I think I'm attacking now. If my opponent wants to trade, it's fine. I will just raise my thing back. If they are not willing to trade, I think I'm just gonna hammer that thing away. And I might just get back the warrior. I could wait, but if I don't draw land next turn, I want to have a relevant play. And even if I don't like, you know, losing 3 life one more time, I think warrior is good enough. Hopefully this is not a Phyrexian Gargantua. A Husk it's a good card, but I think it's, you know, it's largely beatable. Like, if my opponent wants to trade or to block and sacrifice the crossbow dude, it's completely fine. Alright, yeah, you know, the double Serpent Warrior, as I mentioned in draft, not really something you want to do, but you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I'll draw land at some point, because if I don't, I'm gonna be in trouble, but yeah, it is what it is. Alright, I'm just gonna block here, and most likely trade that warrior for a spineless thug, which is not my favorite thing to do, but I don't really want to take damages at that point. And you see, my opponent drew quite a bit of more land than I did, so if we can make trade, and I think I'll end up, if I end up drawing lands and be able to cut my thing, I'll end up with just better creature than him. Alright, sure. If I draw land, I'm gonna attack. If I don't, I'm not gonna attack. That's pretty simple. If I attack, my opponent might block and use the ability before damages, and you know that's fine. I mean, if they want to make that trade, it's fine with me. It's one less creature to sack for the husk too, so if they don't trade, it's fine too. And here I'm gonna play my Hill Giant, and again, if they attack, I'm just gonna block, and if I, you know, it's fine. They can continue to sack creature to make the husk leave, but at some point, I will just overwhelm my opponent with my creatures, I would assume. They did not attack. So yeah, I drew a land, which is awesome. So I think at that point I'm just attacking with both, and we'll see what happens. There's quite a decent amount of things my opponent could do. They might just block both and sacrifice. They could also block here and crossbow that thing so it dies. It's completely fine too. They could also do that and sacrifice for the husk, and you know, that's like completely fine too. I don't, honestly, I don't really care. Now that I drew my land, I will just chain up those threats onto the battlefield, and since my opponent drew a bit too many lands, I would say they are likely gonna be in trouble quite quickly. Ooh, Gravedigger, that's awesome. So despite mulliganing, I think I ended up having a better draw than my opponent, which is a bit flooded, as you can see. We might see a trade there, which would be completely fine. Or maybe they will take the damages. No, I don't think so. Alright. Going down to 5, and now I'm just gonna play the other Holo Dogs, and I have 2 lethal creatures onto the battlefield. So unless my opponent does have a Wrath of God in their deck, I should end up being... And even then, I do have Gravedigger. Yeah, I mean... Alright, yeah. My opponent just drew too many lands, and yeah, that was not good for them, obviously. So white-black... White-black... Ooh, Flash Fire. Sweet. Might want that. I think even if you destroy 2 land, that's already quite good, and if you get more, that can be quite broken. Alright, let's trade out. And I should probably cut a 4-drop. Maybe just a Hill Giant. Probably one of the least exciting cards from my deck. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll cut a Hill Giant for the Flash Fires. Alright, that seems fine. Anything else? No, I don't think so. Alright, sweet. Let's try to do something with these Flash Fires. In the last draft, well, I'm not gonna spoil you, but I had good experience with Flash Fire. That hand is very good, definitely a keep. Turn 2 Felwar Stone is sweet. It can provide me black since the opponent is playing black, which is also, you know, could be relevant. And yep, everything looks fine. Rise Dead, pretty sweet with Gravedigger, because you know you can get more things, more. It's quite good when you are playing a grindy game. Alright. Well, I don't need many more lands, but you know, I do have a Form of Dragon in my deck, so if I end up with 7 land, it's, you know, it could be useful at some point. Next turn I don't know, it depends on what the opponent does. Cast zombies. Now I'm casting Serpent Warrior because it trumps the zombies, as rats does not do that. Rats are actually, maybe I should have sided out rats instead of Hill Giant, just because the rats are pretty bad when you are playing against a deck that does contain black. So yeah, that might have been a mistake actually. Yeah, if we go to game 3, I'm very likely to put back Hill Giant and remove a Razortooth Rat. Yeah, those are really unexciting against a black deck. They are fine, but you know. Ooh, Icy Manipulator. That's probably one of the strongest card of the set. Yeah, that thing is just incredibly powerful. Not much I can do about that though. I do have the Infinite Anarchist Rise Dead combo though, which could be relevant, I guess. Losing a lot of life of those Serpent Warrior, and I don't really wanna, Gravedigger them back because I think 6 is already quite a lot, but we'll see. Icy Manipulator is definitely gonna be hard to beat. It is a powerful card. There's no question here. Death Gazer. Alright, that's basically a Death Touch creature. A bit improved, but pretty much a Death Touch creature. Alright, I think I'm gonna go to combat, see what happens. I don't mind making trades because of the Gravedigger. So if my opponent wants to double block or just block with the Death Gazer, it's completely fine with me. Alright, sure. I'll kill the Death Gazer, which is obviously a little bit better. Not sure what my opponent gained by double blocking, except that they could have been blown back by a... Not really, though. But I don't think that double block was very useful or necessary. Even though I said I didn't really want to get that back, I think I'm still gonna do it. Because I'm the aggressor here, so I don't really care about losing life, and actually now I can cast my Anarchist, get back the Rise Dead, and pretty much be like, well, that combo is gonna be good, my friend. Alright, sweet. If my opponent wants to attack, I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna trade, like, there's no question here. That's a very good... That's very simple but very efficient synergy. This makes any creature that they have that is a 2/2 or less irrelevant, because I can infinitely trade with those, and that makes, even if they have, I don't know, a 6/6, I can just eternally chump block. I mean, that costs a lot of mana, for sure, but that's something. Oh, okay, Rod of Ruin. That's decent, but currently my opponent will need to use 4 mana each turn, so that kinda restrict their ability to do other things. I would have rather have drawn another black there, but whatever. Alright. Sure. I'll beat down there. If my opponent just block, I'm just gonna Rise Dead Anarchist and just put it back onto the battlefield. Sure. No problem. No problem. I'll do that as many times as it needs to be done until you have no more cards in hand. Yes, I'd like to get that back. Alright, sure. Sweet! That's so simple, but so efficient and nice. I mean, it's not overpowered either. It's kinda... It's what I would call just a little combo, nothing too crazy, but it's sweet. Alright, I think the least valuable card here is Razor to Strat. Those are not good looking at the Road of Ruin and the Ravnica strats, so yeah, quite easy thing to discard. And yeah, I mean, that Anarchist is is doing work, which is sweet. So I guess my opponent is deciding whether they want to play a 3-drop or be able to... Or never mind. They just have an infantry veteran. Sure. Pyroclasm... Ooh, Flash Fires. Ugh, that's gonna be sick. Ugh. Yeah. That was a sick draw, but, some sideboard cards in this set are just completely messed up. Like, truly messed up. Yeah, and I can play my Serpent and Flash Fires. That might be just game over. Honestly, that's 3 land off my opponent's board. Yeah. Alright, sweet. Armageddon on the other side of the board. Pretty good. I mean, they have 2 swamps, but that also makes the IC manipulator much less efficient. So that's just awesome. That makes also Road of Ruin almost like irrelevant. I mean, it was not very good. It was already not really good, but now it's even worse. It's like, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what the opponent will be able to do here. They can tap a warrior each turn, of course, but I'm gonna add more threats to the board too, so I have this anarchist, which is pretty unstoppable. Yeah. If my opponent wants to block with the rat, I don't know that can only pump attacking creatures actually, so they cannot even try to make the rat trade with my anarchist. All right, I think I'm playing the big old Sandstone Dude, which can attack for 6. Yeah, that's gonna be very problematic for my opponent. Fall Imp, no problem. Like, that thing is completely irrelevant given the board, and it's gonna lose 2 life to my opponent. It's just like, sure, feel free to do so. I would assume that my opponent is tapping the warrior. It seems like the more threatening card. Yup, alright. The good news is now that I'll be able to cast Holodogs and that I don't have to keep mana backup for the warrior. But honestly, yeah. It stings for the opponent, cause yeah, that flash fire. I mean, why would you make cards so powerful? Yeah, that double block is fine. I mean, it's like, sure, no problem whatsoever. I'm just gonna cast another threat, and that should just be the. All right, cancel, undo. That should be the end. Yeah, I have no idea how my opponent could come back out of these. Flash Fires is... it's a sideboard card, but when it's good, it's like really good. It's like the Circle of Protection against a deck that is almost having only one color. It's sick. Alright, so that's gonna be game 1. I mean match 1. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you guys for round 2.